jumping on too. Oh, there we go. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I have a special guest today, one of my favorite people. And we've got 10 minutes. But first, I want to say hi to Italina. How are you?
Hi. Hi, Tristan.
Thanks for being on. I
I'm so
appreciate
glad I'm here.
this.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go. It's 5:02. We're going to go to about 5:12. And I'm going to go like rapid fire answer. And you got this. You got this.
All good. I got it. All
All right,
good.
here we go. Let's start. So first, thank you for being on. And what's the biggest challenge you've had over the last few months that you can share with us?
Of course, sure. I will share with you that I would say a challenge has been really staying up. So balancing, having empathy towards what's going on all around us and on the planet, and balancing that and still keeping myself up in a way that's healthy and allows me to be productive.
Okay, very good. How have you been able to do that so that you don't bring those people around you down? Because one thing that I've noticed with you is that every time I talk to you or I'm around you, you're always smiling, number one.
Oh.
And you have such good energy. How do you maintain that energy up? How do
Sure.
you keep that positiveness?
So I think we've seen over and over as far as having your cup full. And I actually like the analogy of you think about a cup, and if you bump that cup, what spills out? What's going to spill out? So in this case, we have plenty of things that are around us and that can trigger us or move us or maybe even justifies a negative action. But I think that when we fill our cup with all the right stuff, so we know that there's these external things that are negative and obviously affect us. So that means we need to equally put in a bunch of positive things. So one thing is I read The Brilliant Tribe. Every time I read every single one, and I read and I add to my book list the books you suggest, right? I'm reading positive podcasts. I'm staying around positive people. So I'm filling my cup with positivity so that when my cup gets bumped, I want to make sure good stuff spills out.
I love that. Is such a great analogy. I love that. That is so good. I want people to bump me, and when stuff falls out, it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. And I've been able to kind of pat myself on the back when someone has said something awful to me, and it would justify a negative reaction, but what spilled out was something like me turning the other cheek or me staying calm and just allowing that person to embarrass themselves rather than me stepping out of my character. So
that is a good point. That is a very good point, because right now with all of the tension in where we're at with politics and COVID and everything else on top of that, it's so easy to just be full of anger, resentment, and so, very opinionated, right?
Yes.
So I love that. That is a great way to start. So look, if you don't know Italina, she rocks it on social, and she does so amazing on LinkedIn. One thing that I'm not that great at. So she does amazing. So look her up there. How do you stay in the loop on what's going on with LinkedIn so that it looks like you're always on it? So how do you, what would you suggest people, hey, go here and go there to be able to stay on top of it?
Sure. Stay on top of it. Honestly, I'm just a fan of just going on and clicking around. Just click around. I think there's this tendency to only look at certain things on the screen. Open your eyes and look at everything. What's on the top, what's on that left column. Open your eyes, step back, and play around with the filter, see what's there. So
good idea.
Around.
I love that. All right. So then what are you excited about for the next 2 months and then the beginning of 2021? What's exciting you?
Okay. So I have, like many people, whether they shifted or pivoted, my business has always been remote, so that's no big deal. But one thing I did do was I added to my business a service that is allows people to be more, or me to be more accessible to people. So meaning in my case, I typically only provided private one-on-one social media coaching or do it yourself, where our team will do it for you, done for you social media management services.
Nice.
Well, there was nothing in between for those who wanted to, say, attend a group class, pay to attend a group class and get group coaching. And obviously that's less expensive. So that's something that I've just added. I've only had my third class. They've been a hit. 20 plus people have attended. 10 people attended. It's been
so
great.
Where would we go to check that out?
Okay, sure. So I would say connect with me, whether it be on Instagram or connect with me on LinkedIn. Shoot me a quick little note saying you saw me on the show with 10-Minute Labs with Tristan, and that you want to know about the class, or just say hi to me. I saw you on 10-Minute Labs. So Italina, that's my first name. K is the beginning of my last name, Kirknis. So Italina Kirknis, and obviously that's my IG handle that you see there.
I love that. All right. So what about beginning of 2021? What's exciting you about then?
The beginning of 2021.
Yeah, January, February, March.
Sure. So, what is exciting me about it? I think 2020, the year, has come with a lot of just like 2020, I think is forever going to just have this negative connotation, almost like 2008, right? It's just always going to have this negative thing. So I think the nice thing about going into 2021, I think we're more accustomed to this pandemic lifestyle we're living. I think the trauma of that initial trauma that hit us, I think we can go into 2021 like, okay, this can be a fresh start. We're more settled into this lifestyle that we're living. We can take away the negativity that came with 2020 in our minds, you know what I'm saying? And just come in with this fresh, like, okay, we're starting fresh.
I like that. That's very true. I do think that people wait for certain periods to transition, almost like they have permission to be able to transition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. That's a really good one. Yeah, and I do think a lot of people are going to be doing that for January.
Yeah,
You're definitely going to be seeing that. And now look, we're Thanksgiving,
right,
and to the holidays. So
and
I
the
do
truth
see.
is, like you kind of alluded to, we can make a decision at any point, like to just kind of start fresh and just go, kind of just let that out, like just exhale. We can do that at any point.
Very true. All right, here's a curveball at you. It's a good one though. It's a good one. I follow you on social, right? So I see you on social, and sometimes I see you playing tennis. How important is the physical aspect to our business as the mind part of it?
Ooh.
How do you connect those, and what do you tell people about those?
Well, there is I think like health practitioners and people who are really into health, they know that there is a mind-body connection. So let's say, for example, you go through something really stressful, you get off a stressful call with a client, or you're on a Zoom call. And if you were to do any kind of movement, whether it be you walking away from the computer and walking across the room, you shaking it off, all of that helps. Like on a neurological level, like it helps. Actually, you just shared this in one of your Brilliant Mind emails, and it was an interview called, I think, Burnout. It's on Burnout.
Oh,
book.
Yes,
they talk
right.
about this. The mind and body. So any kind of moving, it doesn't have to be this huge, intense, crazy workout. It can just be breathing. It's just the movement. And if you ever look at ducks in a pond, for example, when ducks get in a squabble, you'll see them flap their wings. That is literally releasing the stress of that, of letting the emotion, the stress move through them and not be stuck in the body.
That's two things I'm going to remember that you said. That's really good, by the way. I love that. All right, so how do you, here in closing, because we've got about a minute or so, how do you quickly remove the stress? How do you just say, hey, you know what? Let's just move on.
Sure.
Because a lot of us carry that on for so long.
Yes. Okay, so I'll tell you, I know you and I initially met at Inman, and Inman was a big deal for me. It was like a really high point in my career. I spoke in front of the largest audience. It was a really big deal. It was the same year Gary Vee spoke on that same audience. Believe it or not, I was stressed as heck and nervous as heck. No one could tell, but I was feeling it. When I went backstage, no one knows this, but when I went backstage, I did one of these. I literally did that.
The duck. The duck.
Yes. I literally did that. And for me, that just helped a lot, like literally shook it off. And you might think that's so simple or take it for granted. It does good for your body. It lets that emotion move through rather than getting stuck in your body. And then I tell myself, okay, Italina, and I ask myself, like, how do you want to feel right now? Like, was this really good, or was this? Do you really think it was as bad as you thought it was? Like, the truth, getting to the truth of it. And if I'm really upset, I'll say to myself, Italina, what really truly upset you about it? And it's like I'm talking to myself, talking it out. What are you really upset about? And then I realize what I'm upset about. And I'll either say, okay, well, you feel that right now. And then a lot of times it's not an instant get over it. Sometimes I sleep on it, and the next morning I feel better about it, or the next day it's like this decreasing as far as level of importance. And whether it be the next day or a few days, I think it's okay to feel bad sometimes and let it go through you as normal. I think that's totally normal. I think what's important is that we don't dwell and keep replaying. Don't dwell and keep replaying that incident or bad thing. But yes, it's okay to feel those emotions, let them naturally go through and not be stuck in your body.
I love that. So I'm going to leave it with that. You're telling us to embrace it and let it just happen. I love that. That's so good.
I think that's healthy.
Thank you so much. All right. Follow Italina at Italina K on Instagram, and any questions you have on social, whether it be Instagram, LinkedIn, or anything else, you know where to reach her. Check out her awesome group coaching classes, which is new.
Yes.
And thank you for the support, Italina.
We
appreciate it. Thank you.